Okay, so I'm super hyped, I'm super excited, and it's amazing. And why? Because today we are going to uncover a lot of understanding and knowledge about property that potentially you have never gone through before. Be it yourself, your own experience, or perhaps online when you're reading some of the articles, newspaper, or even videos on YouTube. What are the successful approach that we should be taking for properties, as well as a lot of mistakes that other people are making, and how we as homeowners and busy professionals can actually avoid them. How many of you want to actually avoid mistakes made by others so that you no need to go through it? All right, what I'm going to share with you today is very relevant, very current. Why? Because I am still doing this currently. All right, I'm still buying, I'm still selling, and I'm still structuring my portfolio alongside with my clients. And that's how we stay ahead of the curve to help many out there to navigate through their property journey. Because one of the mistakes, one of the problems that I see for very many homeowners out there, okay, is that today, some of you maybe you're owning a property and you kind of already own a property, so you kind of know where you are at A stage. And you potentially also know that, hey, maybe in the next couple of years, I want to maybe buy a bigger property or I want to change certain property. So you kind of know also where you want to be at B. All right, so you want to get from A and you want to get to B. Okay, so maybe some of you are in HDB and you say that, oh, I have this desire, once I save up enough, I want to upgrade to a private property. Fair. Or some of you maybe in your private property, you say you want to upgrade to a landed property as well. It's also okay. But what is the problem a lot of people are facing? They don't know how. They don't know what to do. Okay, they don't know all this. And what are a lot of homeowners facing? They are facing that today they don't have the time to really look into property. Because you're working, you have your kids, your families. So even if you are looking at properties, it's a very surface thing. So you cannot deep dive into all this to help you make a decision. And the second thing that you don't have is resources. Yes, you can go to YouTube and go and watch all the videos that you can read articles, you can read newspapers, but you may not have in-depth resources of data, numbers, and research to make a better decision. Because you don't have the access to relevant and live data like we do. Because you are doing this on a daily basis. So what we realize is a lot of homeowners, they want to get from A to B. But there's this big gap. They don't know how, they don't know what, whether in terms of education or understanding. So my role is to become the bridge. My team and my role is to become your bridge so that you can start solving your time issue. You can start solving your resources issue, and you will have full access into research data and numbers to make an informed decision for yourself. So that is what we want to be. We cannot make the decision for you, but through us, you get more information, you get more access to make an informed decision. And that is how the REI method is about. All right, so REI method, we created this, is a concept. All right, it's a process that we bring our clients to get from where they are at A to get to where they want at B. So this is an access, and we will help you connect all these dots that's going on so you can make an informed decision.
Like what you're watching so far? How about giving us some likes and love so we can continue this journey of empowering more others like you with families like yours to learn about property and bridge the knowledge gap.
My role is to put this ladder in front of you, and I can teach you how to climb it. But you also must be willing to climb up, okay? And I'm here to guide you step by step, hold your hand step by step to climb this ladder. So today, right, many of us, when we start doing property, we all start off with what? HDB, man. Alright, we all start with HDB. That's why there's no need to rush in property. Alright, you can always do it step by step. If you own a HDB, then chances are the next step you want to go for is a condo. Okay, you want to upgrade yourself. Why? Because we want to elevate the value. And after condo, perhaps you say that, oh, I think I want to do condo. Very quite common now. Or if you have the capacity to own more, why not? You see, so more condos you want to go for. Then eventually you want to go for landed. Alright, so that's why it's a called property ladder, right? Depending on which stage you are, then that's how you go for. And ultimately, when you have done all your residential already, then perhaps you say that, oh, maybe you also want to do commercial or even industrial. Okay, which is a different segment altogether, but this is also another segment that I find that in today's marketplace, there's also rooms for opportunities if you know how to spot. So one thing every one of us we are trying to do is we are trying to climb this property ladder step by step. So the question is, how many of you here are going from HDB to condo, type in A? And if you already own a condo, you intend to go for more condos, can you type in B? And some of you, maybe you're already going for the landed property, type in C. And if you have already exhausted all your NIMs lah, ABSD also pay already lah, you cannot do residential already, you want to explore into commercial and industrial, type in D. All right, so there will be also a very small group of you, perhaps you have already done everything and you're kind of down, you're right sizing back to maybe a condo or even a HDB, type in E. Okay, if you're right sizing now, that means you're building your legacy plan, you're building your retirement, you don't need such a big place anymore, you want to kind of right size the smaller one. So I'm going to introduce you two methods. And these two methods, I want you all to really listen carefully. Because if you don't listen, you miss out just one statement, you may get it all wrong. And it's very difficult when you catch up because you may take it out of context. Okay, so please just ignore all your noises out there. So this is what I'm going to share with you, and I want you all to write this down because this is what I call asset building strategy. Okay, this is very important. All right. So what do I mean by asset building strategy? ABS for short. Okay. So what we do in property, if some of you who have already owned property, it's quite easy for you to understand, but I also need to help those who are first time. So today, all of us, we will start off with capital. For private property, it's a capital. Okay, you will start off with capital. For private property, it's about 25% down payment. Okay, so today, remember, you're leveraging B. Meaning today, I'm borrowing 75% on my 100%. Okay, so you're only down 25%. And what happens? You hold on to the property, and eventually, when the property increase in value, the increase is not just on the 25%. It's not. Okay? If the property increase 15%, this 15% is the 100% of the entire purchase of your property. Okay, that's how it works. But what happens is, majority of homeowners who are in the consumer mindset, right? They stop it. Their property already grow. Wow, in 15% grow already. Okay, no? I continue to stay. We're not saying that that's incorrect. But in the past, my parents' generation, they can do this because there's not so much opportunity out there. There's not so much other structures and policies in place. And that's why they continue to hold their property with no other plans. But today, if you're holding on to the property and your property has only increased 15% or even 20%, over time, it actually is diluting your profits. So one of the key things that in today's marketplace, what you need to do is to do the next stage, which is to unlock and repeat. You want to unlock the profits from your property so that you can build it onto the next one. And I'll share with you a little bit more because this is another different perspective altogether. And why do we do this? Because if we don't move forward, unlock the money that we have inside, unlock the capital and the profits, our age over time will reduce our leverage, our TDSR, because as we age, borrowing power gets lesser. Okay, and there are also higher capital required because of the loan to value. And chances are, as we wait later on to enter into the property market, the prices will go higher in terms of per square foot. So I'm going to give you a real example of ours, okay, a real case study. So back in 2017, right, what we did was we bought a very comfortable entry property, a 3-bedroom at Parc Riviera. So we bought this property at 1.33 million, okay, and we exited in 4 years about 22% profit, and we sold it at 1.63 million. So of course we need to calculate all the costs lah, your agent fee lah, your buyer's stamp duty, everything we calculated, right? So you remember when we buy this Parc Riviera, where we start off with is here. We start off with the initial capital of 25% plus buyer's stamp duty, close 368,000. This is our initial capital. So we went to buy this 3-bedroom Parc Riviera. Then after we minus off everything, eventually what happened is this becomes a total new capital of 563,000. How do we come out this amount? First, you have 368,000. This is your capital. Capital plus profit. So after selling Parc Riviera at 1.63 million minus all the costs, I will have the profits that I lump together with my original capital. It makes up to 563,000. This is cycle 1. So we have already grown our capital from 368,000 to 563,000 in 4 years. This is step 1. So this is what most people do. They stop. Oh, my property already grow money. Mine is a 3-bedroom. I can stay, no problem. I stay on because my kids are growing up. I got enough rooms to hold it, to continue staying for the next 10 to 15, 20 years. This is how a consumer thinks. But as a home investor, I want you to start thinking of how you can grow a capital without spending additional savings. So this is what we do. We take out the entire capital. Okay, we take out the entire capital. We move on to buy a 2-bedroom this time around. Okay, you'll be saying, Edmund, from a 3-bedroom, you go and buy a 2-bedroom. Wow, you downgrade lah. No lah, this is not downgrading. Because why? The amount that we can purchase at 1.8 million, we can only buy a 2-bedroom, but in a location where it's growing. Okay, remember, we are always looking for growing areas.
You have yet to subscribe to our channel, now's the best time to do so, and follow us on our playlist where we cover a wide range of property knowledge to make 6-figure profits safely.
So we took the capital, we lumped this into the down payment of a $1.8 million property in 2021. And we just recently sold this property in 2024. Okay, we exited it at 2.16 million. So same thing, everything we minus off, everything commissions, direct stamp duty, our new capital now becomes 783,000. Consists of your capital and your profit. Your capital of 563,000, which means this property also yields us about $200,000. So combining these two, right, this will be stage 2. So in over time, right, from 2017, I already built my capital from 368,000 to 563,000, and eventually it went up to 783,000. Okay, so of course this property we just sold, which means if I were to continue doing this, okay, we don't know yet because we haven't complete, so we don't know what to buy yet, you see. But we are going to do this again, and what we did is we're going to buy and take this capital to buy a 2.5 million property next. And if we are using the same strategy in 3 to 4 years, we're going to exit it with about 20% profits only. All right, my net amount that comes back will be 1.128 million when I want to sell in 2027. Why do I want to sell in 2027? Because when I look at the supply in 2027 is lower, I will want to sell by then to reap in the profit. So this is cycle 3. This is cycle 3. So my friends, can you imagine that today, over a 10 to 11 years period, I have grown my capital from 368,000 all the way to 1.128 million without touching any of my extra cash. All the capital, all the profits are all from the property. But what you do is you just unlock it. You must unlock the money tapping on your own ability of your loan and your age to grow your assets over time. And eventually you can start off at a journey of A and you can end off with B of 1.128 million capital. So why is this important? Because today, if you're holding on to your property value is only worth that much. You're not leveraging on how your age and your capability of your income is helping you. Are you guys following so far? So this is very important. And of course, what I'm sharing with you this is not for everybody. Okay, it's not for everybody. Because there are a lot of criteria, a lot of components we need to still discuss if this is suitable for you, right? But at least you know that there is a plan to do this. So because of this, a lot of my clients, we are also undergoing this. Of course, not everybody. So for example, you can see he bought a property in 2019 at 1.16 million. This is a 2-bedroom unit. Eventually, 4 years later in 2023, he sold at a profit of 1.4 million. So most people, they sell already, they say, oh, I take the money, then they don't know go and do what. But for us is we take this money, 1.4 million, we went into another property that is worth 1.4 million. So his capital actually went from 1.1 million to 1.4 million in just 3 years. And Eventually, we're going to still do this 4 years later, and their property value will continue to increase. And that's how you want to build capital. Because today, my friends, let me ask every one of you here. If you hold on to the current property that you're holding on, right? Okay, how much do you think it will continue to grow? Will it cross double the amount that you paid? And how long will it take? All right, so this is why we are helping you all to build your assets over time safely, step by step. It's not a one jump, depending if let's say your capability, you can, like for us, we jump from 1 million to 3 million because of the affordability that we want to go in. But if you cannot, we can still do it in a very short period of time, like this homeowner. We start from 1.1 million, then we go to 1.4 million, then we eventually go to 1.7, 1.8, and then we slowly build it up step by step using time to our advantage. And why do we do this, my friend? What is the end goal? The end goal is you want to build enough capital so that you can own 2 units safely. Right? I'm not asking you to go in very hard and furious, right? And then you take a lot of risk. No, it's not. I'm very careful one. I'm very careful. So I cannot allow that to happen. So this is plan A, to use your asset building to build it up. But at the same time, we are also very cautious about some family homeowners due to different situation or even due to age. You may not be able to do asset building as quick. So we also have another plan B. They are more considered a little bit more risk averse. And when things are a little bit more risk averse, meaning things are also slower. Okay, so we have to start somewhere now. We cannot say we want fast and we want a lot. It won't work on. Okay, something have to give. All right, so but you must understand where your position is and which plan potentially it suits you more. And that's how during our consults we can guide you how to see it. Okay. The other one I want to share with you is called property savings blueprint. Okay, property savings blueprint right now. Okay. So what does this do? Basically, it's the same thing. We will use our capital, but this time around we don't unlock yet. We hold on to the property. We hold on to the property maybe 10, 20, 30 years, really depending on how long you want to hold it. But again, most people, they stop here. But today, if you want to plan your retirement, you want to plan your legacy planning, you need to unlock it to right size to the right property later on. And I will share with you an example here. So today, right, let's say I'm buying a property at 1.6 million and I'm age 35. No matter what happens, right, with inflation, do you agree that your property value will go up? So averagely in Singapore, our our inflation is about 3 to 4%. Okay, about 3 to 4%. But I will say that, let's say I'm going to hold on this property for 20 years, and fluctuation of inflation, I'm very conservative, I say use 1% only. I use 1%. So eventually 20 years later, when I'm 55 years old, this property, whether you like it or not, will already increase in value to 1.95 million. That is the reason why people like to buy property. Because property hedge against inflation. If the inflation goes higher, my property price also goes higher without you doing anything. That says, it spells very clearly for private property. HDBs are still being controlled somehow. Okay, they cannot allow a lot of all these prices to anyhow climb. So today, if you are holding a HDB, you are limiting a lot of your opportunities. But for private property, if we just count on inflation and just 1%, and I'm not talking about 3 to 4%, just 1%, your property value over 20 years will have already increased. So 20 years, have you fully paid your loan? No, of course. Okay. At age 55, I still have an outstanding loan of 303,000. So this is where most people, they will continue to stay this property and then they stay on that property for life. And which is why we have been seeing a lot of older folks out there. This is the term you all must write down. If you all know anybody, please go and share with them. They are very asset rich, but they are very cash poor. So we are seeing a lot of older generations that are still working because they just don't have enough for their daily expenses. But they are staying in landed property. Okay, I don't know whether have you all seen before. Really, so I have a lot of clients and people that I know, right? They have to work because their daily lifestyle don't have enough. That's why they work. But then they stay in a landed property fully paid. So this is what happens in the past of a lot of generations. They fully paid, they pass down to their kids, and then their kids just hold on to it. But as we move forward, why I want to share with you this property savings blueprint is because you must see your property as a savings tool. But there will be a time you need to unlock this money out to enjoy the fruit of your labor. You must enjoy. So why do we want to enjoy? Because today, if I were to sell this property at 1.95 million, I minus off my outstanding loan, I will left with about 1.65 million. By then, 55 years old, you're a little bit lao kok kok. You may not want to, stay in such a big property because you need to clean, you need to do that. So chances are you want to right size to a what? Right size to a smaller property that's more easily accessible, maybe amenities, bus stop, coffee shop, all these things. So you need still a roof over your head. So what you do is you go and look into maybe buying a resale HDB at $600,000 by then. Of course, a resale you may need to also renovate a little bit. Then your total, you need to pay stamp duty. Then your total cost of a retirement home is about $663,000. So what happens? You sell at 1.95 minus off outstanding loan, left 1.65. You go and fully pay a HDB. You left with close to $1 million for your retirement. Is this good enough for you? Ask yourself. Okay, most of the homeowners that I met in the consumer mindset, right? They never think about how to plan their retirement. If you ask me, is 1 million enough? 1 million enough for one person only, not two person. Okay, 2 person, 1 million, not enough. Okay, very important. So you must always be able to understand that today, if you are holding on to an asset that you have been keeping it, paying it over time, and there is a big pot of gold inside your property, what are you going to do with it? Eventually, are you going to retire with no enjoyment? So that's why when we are building our property savings blueprint, this is specifically great for who? For older generations where you are thinking about retirement and you want to build a legacy for your next generation. This has to come in place to help you. So of course, there are also younger generations where they don't want to do on the asset building strategies. They go on to this to be a little bit safer because maybe due to family situation, kids growing, there are many situations that we need to help you all to understand. So that is where my role here during our consults is to help you determine, hey, today, which is the opportunity that you should undergo based on your current property situation and your own finances. See, because time is cost, my friend. Today, if you don't do anything, are you going to wait for the next 10 years? Because we don't have many 10 years, my friend. As age year after year, perhaps the last 10 years, you did thought about doing property for this time, that time, but because of the fear, because of the non-understanding, you don't know how to navigate yourself into property, you decided not to do it. So, my friend, we don't have many 10 years anymore. Today, you are here to learn, but at the same time, it's also to take action. Because you may be holding on this for very, very long. And if let's say, turn of the time, another 10 more years pass, you don't dare to do anything because your age, your income, your job security. So this is very, very real.
Which is why here in Singapore Real Estate Insider, we always educate homeowners first with research, data, and numbers to ensure financially we have the capability to fund the property regardless of any market conditions. Property is a long-term asset we cannot take lightly in the calculations. So before you jump into the strategy, speak to us first. We'd love to discuss what's the best strategy for you and your family. If this video has been useful for you, give us a thumbs up below and subscribe to our channel for more insightful tips. While you're at it, share this video with your friends and family whom you know could benefit from the discussion.